25th, 2012. We are interviewing Emery A. Drescher at his home in Saxonburg, PA. Mr. Drescher is 94 years of age and was born on July 2nd, 1918. I am Charles Jennings, the interviewer. Mr. Drescher, what service did you join or enlist or got drafted into?
Tank battalion.
United States Army?
Yeah.
And the highest rank you achieved was what? A corporal?
Corporal, yeah.
And you served in what? North Africa?
North Africa. Tunisia. Sicily.
Sicily and in Europe?
Europe, yeah.
Northern Europe. Now, before we go into your wartime experiences, let's start back when you lived in Saxonburg here. So, could you go into a little bit about your life before you got drafted here in Saxonburg?
Well, I was working on a farm. Did some work on cars and stuff like that.
Now, was the school closed? Did you have to walk to school?
Yeah, I just walked to school. It wasn't very far though.
Now, there was no real transportation.
No transportation to school. Had no buses. None.
So
to
get to school, you cut across farm fields?
Yeah, you could cut across farm fields. You even cemeteries too. Go across.
So you grew up here on a farm,
yeah.
and you canned your own food and worked in the garden and things like that. Okay, December 7th came along. Do you recall anything about it?
No.
No? And how did you come to be one of the first draftees in here in Butler County?
They voted you for just go in. That's all. Did you vote? Your time come. Well, they just voted you, and you said your time has come. Now, you have to go to the service.
Now, when you got ready to go to the service, did you have any money with you?
No.
What with clothes or?
No, just regular clothes. That's all. And that's all we went to.
How did you get down to Pittsburgh or?
Well, we went by buses.
Okay.
There's 2 buses down there.
So they provided the buses for you to get down to Pittsburgh and.
Yeah.
Now, did they give you an examination down there?
Yeah, that's right. The doctors give you an examination. If you passed the if it was well enough to pass the instructions they had, so you were well enough to go in the service. You had to be well enough to go in there before they pass you. The doctor got an operation for you.
Apparently you were well enough.
Huh?
Apparently you were well enough.
Yeah, everyone was well enough. Most people was well enough.
So, what happened at that point? How did you get to where you were?
Well, then they just put you on a train or whatever, and away you went.
Now, you went down to Fort Meade?
Fort Meade, Maryland.
Now, what did you do at Fort Meade, Maryland?
Well, they started to train you and stuff like that.
Did you have to stand in line and get your clothes?
Oh, yeah, stand in line, get your clothes, and the same as eating or anything, whether you went to the chow house, but you stood in line mostly before you could go in to eat. And then, unless they had lots of room there, and you go in and eat there.
Now, did they issued you rifles? Did they take you to a rifle range or?
Rifle, yeah, different things like that. Rifle range.
Nothing special that you recall going to the rifle range or anything?
No. Well, as far as I can remember.
They do PT, physical exercises?
Yeah, they had different kind of exercises and stuff like that. Early in the morning, they mostly had exercises. As soon as you get out of bed, that's the first thing. Everyone would get out of bed, out of the bunk beds and outside. They went for exercises.
Now, these were wooden barracks at that time,
Yeah,
weren't they?
All wooden barracks, as far as I can remember.
And so you get up and do your PT, and
Yeah.
did you go to classes, or did you go to schooling?
They went to schooling and exercise and different things like that. And showed you different things.
So what did you learn in school, if you recall?
Well, all about tanks and stuff like that. That's the thing that you was going to. They try to tell you what it was all about, and how it ran and how it worked and everything. See.
So at that time, you finished your boot camp, preliminary.
Yeah, boot camp. Yeah.
And then you went to, they call it advanced infantry training. You went for further training?
More training, yeah. The different tanks and stuff like that. The tanks changed an awful lot. From real bad to got a lot better.
Okay.
It didn't take long, you know what I mean?
Now, you were saying about they had a lot of difficulty with their tracks and things like that?
Yeah, the tracks would fly off and everything else at one time. But later on, when we got the other tracks, we had a hard time getting the track off. You could go 40 mile, 50 mile down the highway with a tank. You'd never think that, but that's your speed, because I drove them that way. That fast.
So, how did you heat your barracks? I mean,
They heated them by
coke?
Coke, yeah,
Mm.
mostly eating coke down there at that time. Yeah, I don't think they had any gas or not natural gas like we have here.
Yeah.
You know, and in Saxonburg, they had natural gas here. That's how you heat it there. But
So-
not down there, it was coke. That's all.
Now, you went for further trainings. Do you recall what tank they trained you on?
No, I really don't know. There were different tanks there at first. They got better tanks that later on.
Now, was it the little tank that you were on?
Yeah, small.
Yeah.
You know.
Excuse me. The Stewart tank. Was it Stewart tank?
No,
No.
I can't remember that. You know what I mean? Sword tank or what. But some of them wasn't very good, and some of them it was a lot better. They got it real good down. The last tank we put before we went overseas, man, that was a good tank. That really is. It was hard to take the
Tracks off.
tracks off
Yeah.
or anything like that. Tracks would hardly come off at all.
Now, you have what, a 4-man crew?
Yeah, 4-man crew they had.
And you kind of lived together constantly, didn't
Yes,
you?
that's right, yeah.
You got to know each other fairly well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And at some point, you left where your advanced infantry training was, and you went to Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
Now, they ship you by train,
Yeah,
and they put your tanks on a train, and
that's right.
they brought everything to Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
And you loaded, and you did amphibious assault training.
You saw training,
You know,
yeah.
you climbed down what? Rope ladders?
Yeah. Ladders from the ship down to where you going to get on with your tank.
Now, when you came down, were the boats bobbing in the water?
We're going up 8 to 10 feet sometimes high from the water. We jumped up to your rope ladders. That's you went down the rope ladder, and that's how you got the ship down the
landing craft.
landing track. Yeah.
Now, did you have to time your?
Oh yeah, you had to time your time, because sometimes you had to leave it off 6 feet anyway. Sometimes between there and your ship. So when the little boat come up toward you, that's the time you had to go down, or you'd get hurt if you didn't.
Now, you did some practicing down in North Carolina too.
Yeah.
You did amphibious assaults and landings in North Carolina, and that was with your tank.
That's right.
And
you go ashore. From the big ship, you took your tank and put it on a small one, and then go ashore with that.
now,
That's how you learned. We did our training. That's how it was going to be.
now, when you go on shore, did you practice shooting your guns with it on shore with the tanks, or?
Well, no, sometimes not right on shore there, but you went on shore to get back in away from the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you practice using your cannon?
Well, sometimes they did. Sometimes they didn't.
Well, that's fine.
It was to get it off land.
Yeah.
With the big.
The big thing, practicing getting inland.
You get inland so no one else could see you, and stuff like that. So you wouldn't be all piled up there. You don't want to do that neither. You want to get it off there so you can get hid and stuff like that.
So at some point, you loaded everything back on board ships again, and did you go back to base or did you sail right overseas?
Sailed right overseas after a while.
To Ireland.
Ireland,
Yeah. What, you spent a day there, right, or two?
Yeah.
Could you describe a little bit about that?
They stayed a week in Ireland, and everything was dark. At night time, you couldn't see a house. No, you couldn't see a light or nothing like that. All the blinds in the houses was down, and all that's there. Kind of airplanes from the Germans' airplanes. That's why it was down. And they had balloons and stuff along the water, all waterways. That was down halfway, like down. So they couldn't bomb you. So the planes wouldn't go in. If they would go in here, they would get tied up with them balloons, and that wouldn't do no good for the Germans. So that's why they stayed away more.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed away. We was a week over there, like that.
Now, during that week, you stayed on board ship, right?
No. In houses.
Oh, you did.
In there on near the houses.
Oh, the personal homes of people?
Yeah, but in
Quonset huts, the big metal.
Quonset huts. We stayed in Quonset huts. That's what we stayed in. It was just away from them people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we stayed, in Quonset huts.
So, at some point, you got back on board your ship. Where did you sail to from there?
Well, wherever they was going to go, you know what I mean? That's where you had to sail to. You sail to.
That was Operation Torch,
Yeah.
the invasion of North Africa.
Yeah.
So, where did you land? Where did you land at?
Right in Africa, right.
Algeria.
Algeria. Right, they had a place to land where you could put the sea right around the Mediterranean Sea. You're still on the Mediterranean Sea, but it's right on near the where all the ships had to land near the.
So you didn't have to take amphibious boats in. The
No,
ship came
no.
right to the dock.
No, I went right at the dock. We should. We landed and put her, tied her down right there to the dock.
And the boats unloaded the tanks on the docks.
That's right. That's how you got to hire. If you couldn't get the stuff out of the ship, you was in trouble.
So you organized all your tanks and everything by companies. Now
Yeah.
you were in Company A, right?
Yeah, Company A, yeah.
And if you recall, do you remember how many tanks were in your company?
18.
18 tanks.
Yeah,
And
I think it was 18.
Yeah. yeah, that's right. So then you organized your 18 tanks and you moved out. Where
Yeah.
did you go to?
We moved where
Out to the desert?
to the desert, yeah, because that's where the
Germans, Italians?
yeah, the Germans were. They weren't in hit.
Algeria, around Algeria. They were over in Tunisia.
Yeah, they was over doing that.
So you drove your tank, and how many miles would you get a day, if you recall?
Well, I'll tell you what we did. At Algeria there, we put the tanks on a railroad and took them up to there, as far as we could. We went through a tunnel. What we did, little woman there, she had eggs for sale. We thought, well, we'll light under our propane tank gas. We'll light eggs and eat some eggs before we go through this tunnel. And so that's what we did. We lit. About that time, the engineer, when he wanted to go, so we went through this tunnel and had coal. Looked like bricks. And they put coal and the grapes. I'm talking about grapevines. There was grapevines that big, they were bigger in your hands. They were putting in that fire, to make the engine go. So he had an awful fire going in there. There was 4 of us. We had this here eggs going, and we was going to eat them. You know what I mean? We thought, boy, they would go good. By that time the engine went, we went through this, it was black. We got to the other side. We looked at each other, and all we could see the white teeth of us when we laughed. And that's what we did. We laughed at each other. We was black as we could. Yes.
So, did you get to eat your eggs, or were they black too?
No, we couldn't get it. They were too black.
Too black to eat your eggs. So, you got near the front. Now, where was your position in the tank with the 4 guys? What did you do inside the tank?
I was the commander.
Okay,
I was up in the turf
Yeah.
where the other guy is, the gunner. You got a gunner up there and a guy that tells the driver what way to go, what to do.
Now, how would you communicate that to the driver?
By your feet. You touch them on the shoulders. One shoulder you go to the left, right, straight ahead.
And that's how you communicated for the driver to go.
The driver, yeah. That's how you drive.
Now, You unloaded your tanks, and then you started towards the front.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get up to where the battle was?
That depends on where you're going. You know what I mean? You just don't go into a battle. You have to know where where the enemy is, and a lot of times they'll use artillery first, and that tells you where the other person is, the enemy is, because you just get and take the tank, and go right up there and start shooting at the enemy, because that don't work that way.
So how would you do that?
They mostly go out and get different times, higher up places to see where the enemy is. They look down on them, and then they can take your other guns, artillery guns, and shoot at them first.
Mm-hmm.
You shoot at him through artillery. He shoots at you, and you shoot at him. That's about the way it is.
Now, you were saying they didn't have very many planes at that time.
No, some.
And there was one experience you watched a Spitfire shoot down a plane?
Yeah.
Do you remember anything about that?
Yeah, when we hit Africa, there was no planes there hardly at all. American planes. There was German planes, more German planes than there was our planes, see? We didn't have planes down in there yet. Only maybe a year later, then there was a lot of planes down there. A year later, there was lots of planes. But not right off the bat.
Now, being in a tank, did you have to worry about airplanes attacking you quite often, or?
Well, sometimes you have to watch, yeah. You try to hide it if you can. So when you stop a tank, why you try to get in brush or something like that, or somewhere to hide that. You just don't leave it out in the open. You know what I mean?
So what, would you put brush on your tank?
Brush or anything at all. Anything at all. Even blankets and stuff. A lot of people used blankets. They had blankets and stuff. The infantry had a lot of big blankets. And then they would put them over a rock or something. Rock, the same kind of size as rock. You never even know it. You thought it was a rock. It wasn't.
It would break up the outline of the tank.
Yeah.
So you basically, when you were living out of your tank, you just basically lived out of your tank. I mean,
right. Right.
So you had a big tarp, and
yeah.
How did that come about? Just you sleep on your tarp and cover over with it, or?
The first thing you want to do with a tarp is you have to sleep on. You put it down on the ground. But most of you in areas like that, it's desert country you go, and very seldom you have rain. And if you expect rain, you take off your shoes and take a piece of twig, put it in the ground, and put the shoe on top.
Upside down.
Upside down, so
wouldn't get wet.
Wouldn't get wet. That's the only thing you need to, because you leave everything else on you, and that's the way you go to sleep. But put the tarp first. Put the tarp over you, so you keep the rain off you.
So you were living. You had a little heating lamp that you could cook on.
Yeah.
The four of you, and what kind of rations do you live off? C's and K's, or
we had lucky. We had four cooks to make a meal for the guys from a truck. They had everything on there. They would get everything, meals and stuff, in the front lines. They would bring meal, flour, different things she could cook, and make a meal out of. And she could make a meal just like, oh my, just like she could. Well, she had this material to work with. She was a good cook, and she made more meals for us than we ate any other way.
No.
We were lucky. You don't always get that. The interest you don't have it. They have a little tin can or something to eat out of. That's their meal. Our meal was a real meal.
Now, I understand bread was a very desirable thing back then.
Yeah.
Bread.
Yeah.
Some people said they even bartered using bread. Did you have any experiences with that?
No, she could make bread, homemade bread, real good. This woman here. I mean, the guy. Guy. Boy, he could make bake bread right out there like that. A lot of people, a lot of guys didn't have that. We was fortunate. We had people like that, you know what I mean? They could cook right near us.
So your unit stayed together as a unit,
Yeah.
and at some point you went on into Tunisia, and you had to face the enemy.
Yeah.
Could you go into some of those stories you shared with me earlier about maybe about running over a bridge and how you had to sneak out of your tank, and could you go into some of those stories for me?
I don't know.
Well, let's start where you apparently you were going on forward, and you kind of got into a no man's land situation,
Yeah.
and your tanks are running out of gas and ammunition.
Yeah.
Do you remember about that story? About how you had to sneak back and the captain?
Oh, yeah.
Could you tell that story, please?
Well, I had the Germans there, and I could hear their tanks, the big German tanks. You could hear them and made sorts of noise because they're the tracks. It was all steel. It wasn't like ours, rubber. So they made a lot of noise. They couldn't go 50 miles an hour down the road because it wasn't built for that, where ours could. Ours was rubber. And everything else, you must say, that's the same way it was. It was, made so that
You could hear the Germans coming,
you hear the Germans coming.
and you were out of ammunition.
Yeah.
So there wasn't much you could do.
No.
So what, your crew had bailed out earlier and went back?
Yeah.
And left you with the tank?
Yeah, that's what we were the tank. And I had to go out and either you had to just try to destroy my tank or do something. So it was getting darker and darker, and I thought, I'll have to destroy my tank. So I destroyed my tank, and I just put a grenade in there and see if I could blow it up, because there was no ammunition there. There was nothing there left. So that's what I did. And I left it. And I walked our way, not their way. Go ahead.
So you ran into a captain on another tank?
Yeah.
How he walked out with you, or?
Yeah, he had a tank destroyer. He was the captain, and so I saw him early in the evening, and I told him about the clips up here, the captains. I said, take them off, because there's snipers around here, and They see that and that. I said, they're looking for people like that. So that's what he did. So when night come, he was gone. I said, boy, I have to go to no man's land too. I got to go to our land, where the Americans are. That's the way I'm going to head. That's the way the Germans was heading. So I had to do the same thing. That's what I did. And next day, I ran on to the captain. I said, how did you make out? He said, well, I walked out with the Germans, but I took my helmet off because my helmet wouldn't look like theirs. And I walked right out with them. Walked out towards the American line. And that's how I got here. So that's the way it was, you know what I mean?
So, how did you come across running over a bridge? There wasn't any bridge there. How'd that come about?
The captain of our team told him this one driver. He said he can't drive at nighttime. He told the captain, he says, I can't see at nighttime. And you know what kind of light you've got on a tank. It's a little cat light. It's really small. It's smaller than a flashlight. You can't hardly see it at all. All you can see is it coming for distance. You know that, and that's all you have. And he went across this here bridge. It was blowed out. It was 10 foot high, 8 to 10 foot high, something like that. Instead of going around it, the guy couldn't see it right. He went right across it, and down we went.
Now you got your nose all bunged up.
Yeah, got everything bunged up.
Is that when you lost your front teeth too?
Yeah.
And your nose was all bent?
Yeah, all bunged up.
So you got some medical aid and they took care of you a little bit.
Yeah.
So, when you engaged the enemy or saw the enemy, so could you go into a little bit about that? Shooting at people or machine gun nests, or could you go into?
Well, I wouldn't recommend no one to do that. The only way you can do that is he do that before he does it to you. You know, if you want to run into him like that, very seldom you do that. Very seldom you'll go into anyone else's place. If you find him, I notice, you get the heck out of there real quick before he shoots you. Because if you don't, you'll get shot maybe. Maybe you'll never leave there. It's bad to do that. Because that's just more of a surprise than anything else. Because he never wants to see you, and you never want to see him. Very seldom on the front lines. I did that before. You know what I mean? Ran onto it by mistake. Holy man, that's awful. It's an awful feeling. You have to get the heck out of there, or you might never leave there.
Now you could hear the bullets ricket off the tank. And,
oh my, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
it's bad.
So you'd be tapping your driver pretty hard with your feet.
Yeah. You have to get out of there. Get away from there, or get hidden. You know, somehow. Doesn't matter how it is, you have to get hidden.
Now, do you have any other instances or memories that when you engaged the enemy in North Africa?
No, nothing I know of right now.
So you would engage the enemy from far away distances with your cannon?
Yeah, that's the best way, if you can. Distances, you know, I mean, if they can't reach you or you can't reach them, so, or you get artillery fire. That's one thing. First thing that you can get, you get artillery fire. You won't get enemy. You know what I mean? Just one or two men. You know what I mean? Shooting that. Yeah.
So the first time the enemy would see you, they pull in artillery on you, or you saw the enemy.
Yeah.
You pull in artillery on them.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
But our small plane. Why they call that the smallest plane we had?
Little Piper Cub.
Piper Cub. Them's the people that took were the mostly artillery fire. They told the artillery just about where to put that bullet. You know, them's the people that they were always was talking to, the artillery and Piper Cub.
So after they got done with the artillery, you would go in with your tanks then?
Yeah, that's the time. It depends on how. If they tell you to, you don't do it unless they tell you to, because. Well, I was in places. It was 4 nights and four nights and 4 days. We never slept a bit. That because there was too much noise, too much concussion. You couldn't sleep.
Just from the artillery coming in on you constantly.
Right, coming in on you was right there. You wasn't near nowhere else.
Yeah, they had you
nights,
zeroed in.
4 nights and 4 days. I went into that, and the Germans gave up then. There was more Germans than there was us. Coming down out of there with a white flag.
So that was in Tunisia. You had broken through their lines at that time.
Yeah.
Then. So at that point, you got to Tunisia, and you reorganized your tanks and re-equipped them there.
Yeah.
Got them fixed up.
Yeah, but it was over with. You must have say.
Mm-hmm.
That was they gave up.
Yeah, but before you went to Sicily, you got the same tank back.
Oh yeah.
Now, one of the occasions in North Africa, I believe it was, you had an artillery round hit your tank.
Yeah.
Or was that in Sicily?
That was Sicily.
Sicily. Okay, we'll cover that. So you got your tank back and you got it fixed up from the grenade.
Yeah.
What kind of damage did you do inside? Just the instruments and?
That's all. Just a little bit. Not very much.
And you got your old tank back. Did you have a name on your tank?
No.
No?
Not as far as I know of.
Do you remember a number that you had on your tank?
I think there might have been a number on it, but I forget the name.
No. You four never named your tank or anything?
No.
So you got ready for the Operation Husky, which was the invasion of Sicily.
Yeah.
And you boarded ships then?
Yeah, boarded ships.
And then if you would go on to, after you board your ships, what happened then?
Well, there was nothing you can do about it. You're on a ship, and you can't do nothing about it at all. Whatever you have to take, you got to take it. It doesn't matter what you get into. Sometimes you don't get into nothing. Sometimes you can get in real good, because the people ahead of you, whoever landed in first, whoever it might be the parachute people, it might be what do they call the other people?
Amphibious, or the infantry going in and the tanks.
A lot of people went in there, but way before you did.
Yeah.
See?
You went in a D+4.
Yeah, and a lot of times you'd see them guys. They'd be riding a donkey or something in there. A lot of times. They'd be riding donkeys. You know it would be okay. So we'll just go hit the land and away we went.
Mm-hmm.
That's all short.
I'm going to jump back to Tunisia for a minute. When you were in Tunisia, you didn't get a chance to change your clothes or anything, did you?
No.
You were in the same clothes that you had for 4 months,
Right.
and that's basically what you wore. Your same clothes, and
Well, see, we had when we took a bath, well, we first pond, something like that, first creek or something. See, there's different places in there where you can go in and take a shower like that. That's what we did. We took all our clothes off and went in, took a swim and put the same clothes on. That was it.
so it was a rugged life. It was a rugged life for you guys, living out of a tank.
Yeah.
So, then I'm going to jump back up to Sicily. I'm sorry to do that, but now we're at Sicily. You're D+4, and you start landing. And what happened at that time after you landed and the first troops had gone through, and you started your push north? Do you recall anything going on at that time?
No, I hadn't.
Did you have a sleeping bag on your...
Oh, yeah.
And you ran to a machine gun nest one time?
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
Well, they shut it all up. There was nothing left. So all you have to do is throw that thing away. That's all you can do about it. You just use your own tarp then. We had no old tarp. All of us on the tank. Somehow we had. It seemed to be always pretty good. And that's what you put it down first and take the other part and put it over you. That's how you slept in that night time.
So, there was another occasion, I guess you were up engaging the enemy in the city, was it? An artillery round hit you?
Yeah.
Could you go into that a little bit? Where the shell stuck to your tank?
Well, that was away from the city. That was away from the city.
Okay.
Yeah. We was out looking for people, you know what I mean?
Looking for the enemy.
You're looking for the enemy, and the enemy saw us. And it must have been very far away. And when it hit my tank, it stuck right to the tank, and that's why it blew up. It didn't blow up.
You felt a thud in the tank.
Yeah, I thought in the tank, and I thought, holy man, if that thing would have blown up, I wouldn't have been here, that's all. It would have blown the tank, everything apart.
Mm-hmm. And it hit between the turret and the motor.
Yeah.
And it just stuck there.
It just stuck there, and that's where it stayed.
Now,
we got it out of there. Oh.
You couldn't pull it out or anything?
I couldn't pull it out, so the heck with it, we'll drive around here. Took all the tank and everything. That's
So
what we did.
you just drove around in combat with that shell stuck to the side of your tank.
Just let it there, right there.
At some point, the engineers got it off. They took it off, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, as you moved on north in Sicily, you were saying Patton had made a far left sweep around, and you came up
right through the middle of it.
Right through the middle.
Right through the middle. Right up to the capital.
Palermo.
Palermo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Palermo's the capital.
So, going through some of these little cities, did you have any engagements in these little cities as you passed through?
No. we went into the Palermo, and everything you saw it was just like this here.
Mm-hmm.
There was no shooting, no nothing going on. Everything was done.
Mm-hmm.
It was all over with. In fact, the Italian people would even give you wine and stuff like that, free. They had wine. They had burros that big, that high. And it was that long. I never saw burros in my life that big. Pot is higher than this here room here. Burros.
Wine.
Yeah.
Apparently you drank a little, huh?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
No. The people down there, when they drink wine, they drink the wine like we drink water. The water is not near as good as it is here. You can't have good water, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they drink the wine. They wouldn't drink wine. The Italian and the French people, they seem to drink a little bit of wine. America, he takes a glass, down it goes, the whole glass, all at one time. Not them. They drink a little bit. They drink it like you do, drink a little bit of water.
now at some point you loaded on board ships and went to England
No.
and got ready for the invasion of France. Now, at that time, they didn't call it PTSD, but you had a bit of shell shock or whatever, and they put you in the motor pool.
Yeah.
Now, your unit landed, and you were in the motor pool. What were some of your duties in the motor pool?
Well, just like anything else, you worked, that's all. You just worked like everyone else did work.
You changed oil and
Change oil.
sometimes worked on pulled motors and
Yeah.
worked on complete motors.
Yeah, that's right. And someone even helped you. You know what I mean? And I had another guy was helping you. Depends on what kind of job it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, at that time, before you got to Paris, you were sending money home to your mom, weren't you?
Yeah, all the time. All this here, I couldn't spend no money anyway over there. There was no place for me to spend it. Most of the time, I was in the front lines and stuff. How can you spend money in the front line? Well, there's no money, you couldn't even buy a thing there. You know what I mean? I had more time in the front lines than I did anywhere else when I was over there. And I thought to myself, I might as well you send it home, or get it so it is home before. No use to send it home. It's over there now. Send it to her.
Now, at some point, your unit helped liberate Paris. You went into Paris?
Yes, I did.
So could you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I think it was about maybe 50 or 60 women. There has to have been that. Women with flowers, beautiful bouquets. They're going to give it to us. And it was out in the front, right in front of us, like. And here the snipers started to shoot up there. And I thought, boy, oh boy. And here the underground people, the boys, there was 3 years that the Germans,
Under oppression.
Yeah. These people here hid them in their houses. They took their rifles and went after them. And that was the end of that.
Now, as as the war progressed on, after you worked in the motor pool for most of France.
No.
Now, the war came to an end. You were in somewhere near Germany, were you?
No.
You were still in France?
I was still in France.
Okay. So, as the war ended, you had enough points to come home?
Oh yeah, way more points than I should have.
And you caught a Liberty ship back home?
Yeah.
Rough seas coming back?
Huh?
Rough seas coming back?
The northern part was really rough. The southern was okay.
Now, what, stuff was rolling over the decks and...
Oh, everything, yeah. Way up north.
Yeah.
Yeah, they try to get them ships down here further, closer to southern. That's what they headed for. But it was so rough.
And you landed in, what, North Carolina?
Yeah.
And...
Norfolk.
No, Norfolk, Virginia?
Yeah.
Okay, so then what? You caught a train to where?
Up here.
Indian Town Gap.
Indian Town Gap.
And you basically ended your service there.
Right there, yeah.
So you caught a bus home, did you?
Yeah.
Or you caught a train or a bus? Train.
Well, train, yeah. Trains are there.
Yeah, then bus to...
And then a bus for
up to Butler. And you...
Pittsburgh and then...
Now, you tried sneaking home, didn't you?
Yeah.
You met somebody and they drove you down to Saxonburg here.
Yeah.
And you snuck into the house and surprised everybody.
Yeah, she picked me up.
So, at some point, you came back and you got a job with your brother.
Yeah.
And what kind of job was that?
Automobile fixing mill, working on cars.
Now, you also met your wife shortly thereafter.
Yeah, later on, about 2 years later on. So 1 year later on.
So, also, you worked at a mill for a while?
Yeah. Yeah, we were in steel.
And then you were working in your backyard, and Mr. Duco came down?
Yeah, he asked me if I wanted for a job. He said, come on down and look it over. That's what I did. Went down there and I got a job. 29 years.
At Duco Ceramics here in Saxonburg.
Yeah, I worked for 29 years for him. Beautiful job.
You worked in a machine shop?
Machine shop. It was the best job I ever had. Boy, them guys were beautiful to work for. And we used to be a beautiful place to work for.
And you retired in 86, or 83, I'm sorry, 1983?
Yeah, 1983.
And with your marriage, how many children did you have?
2.
And grandchildren?
1.
1. And you're presently living in Saxonburg.
Yeah.
And at this time, I would really, really thank you for your service to this nation, this country, for what you guys did over there. Living in those conditions and putting up with what you had to put up with. I certainly thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.